All right, guys. Hi. Today I'm actually wearing my Hawaii shirt. Um, I love Hawaii, and I really wish I could live in Hawaii, but I went there uh, and pretty much it's a beautiful place, Hawaii. I definitely would love to go back and live there, but we went to Honolulu, my family and I, and this is a shirt that I was wearing while I was there. So, um, just pretty much, you know, like how it like how it looks. But love Hawaii. Would love to live there one day. Expensive place to live at though. So hopefully that won't day that does happen, but that day comes. But I wanted to talk today, guys, about career coaching because I have coached a lot of candidates. I have talked to a lot of uh, thousands of candidates, and I've had to, you know, talk to them in different instances about what they should do with their career, um, and as well as friends and family. It's something that I've always done. It's just something that has always been in me. So naturally, it's just something that comes up. But I wanted to talk about that exactly today. Basically, when you're looking for a job, what exactly do I mean by um, career coaching? I mean that we pretty much all coach ourselves and okay, so what do I have to do to get this job, or where do I see myself in 10 years, or in the future, or where don't I see myself career wise, or where do I see myself business wise if I'm opening my business, right? So we all think about these things career wise related because obviously you need a job in order for you to do anything, right? You need to work in order for you to buy a home. You need to be able to have a job, right? To do anything in this life, right? In order to live, especially if you live in the United States like myself, you know, we have to make sure that we are working at all times. So that's what I wanted to touch up on today because I really believe that I had been instrumental in it's talking to my friends and family and candidates as well. And I didn't even need to talk to my candidates, right? But it's just something that I wanted to be able to reach out and let them know, hey, have you ever thought about this? Or have you thought about that? Or it seems like you might be a better, um, or you're more passionate about this. Why don't you work on this? So I can easily listen to people and really understand, basically get to the bottom um, of what is it that they're really looking for, right? So what I'm talking about is being able to identify what exactly someone is wanting to do, whether it's currently, in the future, or just something that they might not, we all get kind of tangled in a web by our thinking. And if you have someone that is able to help you or guide you, that's what I, have always done. So it's a part of what I do. And I wanted to give you just certain information as far as what you should be doing and what things you should be watching for, and what will be able to help you guys in um, seeing or identifying certain things that you might be able to um, say, you know what, this is something that I need to kind of question myself for, right? Or on. But so when it comes to career, you want to make sure you are really interested in wanting to work, or what industry you're looking for. Where do you see yourself, right? Yeah, it's a question that you do need to ask yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next, 5 to 10 years? Is something that you do need to ask yourself, because if you're working just to work to make money, um, that is awesome and great, because hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right? We all need to work. So if you're working, great, because you're doing something that uh, you need to do, right? You must do, because you need the finances, right, to support your lifestyle. And even if you have family, or if you're single, but that doesn't mean either one is better than the other one. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to, you need to question yourself. And what I've always done that has helped me is I always say, what do I want to do? Where do I see myself? Um, and what I have always been passionate about is helping people identify, or helping them, right, get something done. So what recruiting does is basically help candidates, my family members or friends, identify what they actually need to be doing in order for them to know what job they need to be uh, working at, or what company, industry. So you want to ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What makes you excited and happy? Because one of the last things you want to do, guys, even though, yes, I've been in the industry for over 10 plus years, and I've worked for various industries and Fortune 500 companies, you have to understand that um, one thing that I've thought about is, okay, if I'm passionate about what I'm doing and I love what I'm doing, I love to wake up every morning and go do it, right? It's going to be a lot easier for you to live this life. You don't want to live this life. And I've worked in those um, jobs in the past where I didn't really feel like I felt fulfilled, right? I feel like, as humans in this world, I feel like we're here to reach out and extend our hands and help others, embrace others, and be able to help others, um, whatever that might look like. Because I do know that, uh, you know, the money, when I first started in talent acquisition, the money wasn't originally there, right? But I knew that the purpose was me being happy and doing what I was doing. And I know a lot of people say, hey, well, you being happy is not going to pay the bills. And it's completely understandable. But you also don't want to live this life being unhappy and working, and not doing what you actually came here on this earth to do. And to my understanding, I believe, 100%, that you have to get back to your community. You have to be able to work, and the money would obviously come. I The money came for me, and it was exciting because, you know I generated a lot of money, but it was because I didn't at first, you know, search for the money. At first, I knew that I had to get a job that I actually wanted to be at. The industry, or the job that you actually want to um, be doing, right? And the work you will be doing on this earth, right? So we're only here a certain time frame, um, and you wanna think about long term, right? Because your mental health will be affected by this. When I mean that, I mean that um, I've been through this myself, where my mental health was affected because I was not happy at a certain company or an industry at a certain point in my professional career. And I will say that I love, again, helping people identify what they're best at, what their talent is. Talent is something that we all have. We are giving gifts. We all have multiple talents, right? That are given to us as gifts from God, right? Um, I'm a huge believer in God, so you know, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for God, for Jesus, whatever the case you. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in, um, but as long as you know that we are serving one God, and I'm not saying for you guys to be perfect, not at all, because I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. Um, at times wish I could have done better and helped people at better times, right? But for the most part, I will say that I have done my part with the companies. I leave it all on the floor when I work for these companies. I perform and I do all my tasks and projects, and I mean, I deliver, before the time to deliver. That's just who I am. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the person in the company that you're working for want that, right, from you, that they're going to be happy with that. Because remember that people won't always be appreciative of who you are, even if you bring the best to them. And I've been a prime example of that. So again, you don't want to quit. I'm talking today about not giving up on searching for your career. Don't give up, because I have an MBA with a specialization, a specialization in human resources management. So what does that mean? That means that I actually went to do this. I went to school, and the school that I went to is backed by Forbes School of Business. Okay, and while I was going to school, I was I had a family, and I had a full-time job working at the bank, and I was a manager. So I had stress up to here. But at the end of the day, I had people coming at me, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Family, friends. My even coworkers would tell me, why are you going to school? Why? Why are you having a management career so young? In my 20s, because I've always, had little roles when I was younger. That's exactly what I wanted, because it just naturally came to me. I love, being a supervisor, being a boss, being that was what I was into, right? And it came natural to me. But with that being said, don't give up. Don't give up. And I just and there's a little noise in the background. Sorry, I think someone's vacuuming or something. But I hope you guys can hear me. I probably need to invest in a microphone soon. But so I just want to let you know, guys. I will try to speak a little louder because of that until they finish. But I just want to let you know, don't let anyone or anything stop you from going and pursuing your dreams. Don't let anyone stop you. Why? Because they're not living your life. And I had my own family. And when I talk about that, I mean someone very close to me tried to discourage me. And not just family, friends, co-workers, strangers. It was only the rare people that would say, hey, I like that, keep it up, keep going. And I went to pursue my MBA, I actually was supposed to get my doctorate, but I decided to quit because I needed to get money. I needed to focus on making more income for my family. So I've always been a family person. I've always been trying to provide. And when a man has to provide for his family and is someone, we normally put everything, our goals, to the side. And I put my goals to the side for the longest because I had to bring, money home, and I didn't mind that. So I had to sacrifice me going and getting my doctorate. Originally, I wanted to be a doctor. I really love, therapy, but in general, what I do, it's actually embedded in what I helping people find a company, and vice versa. It's pretty much all in there. So, in a sense, this is why I love recruiting. This is why talent acquisition. But at the end of the day, if I have to pivot to another industry because of the way that this market has been happening, I'm for it because nothing is forever. Nothing lasts forever. Even when I went to go get my degree, you don't get your degree just because, oh, I'm gonna get this job and this is why I'm only getting it. No, you get a degree. I got a degree because of me. Because no one can take that away from you, and that's hard work. If they were giving degrees out, everyone will have them. It was a lot of sleepless nights. There was a lot of I'm a caffeine addict. That's one thing that I'm on. I'm caffeine right now. I love caffeine. Love coffee. Caffeine. I'm addicted to that. But I will tell you that's my drug, right? That's my only drug. So I'm gonna tell you that don't quit. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams because we as men tend to put our dreams and hopes to the side for our families. And I've had to postpone, doing certain things, and for the most part, I did always pursue my dreams. I never gave up school, even though I had the full time family, a full time job at the bank as a manager, and people coming at me telling me, hey, you need to quit, you need to do it. They were just trying to stop me. And I was pursuing my MBA. That was up to close to 6 years of going to school. And no, I got my associates. And when I got my associates, that's when we had my daughter, who I am forever grateful for having. Well, I didn't have her, but I was there. My wife was delivering the baby, but I was always supportive, and I could tell you that while I was getting my associates, I continued to press forward, and I was taking care of my daughter. Just because you're not the mother doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have to change diapers, feed your baby. And I did all that. I've always been in about that in everything. I've been there through thick and thin, not just for the good times, because I see a lot of parents doing that. But anyway, that's another topic. But for right now, I want to stick to the career coaching. Don't stop. I didn't go get a degree because it's expensive. I didn't go get a degree because the right job was going to line up. No, I got this for me. This is what I wanted to pursue. This is the education that I wanted it for me. No one can take that away from me. Again, I had to take my kids to school. And obviously, my wife and I split the responsibilities, but since I was on my way over to work, kind of in that direction, but I still had to drive out. I was in my car, and I would pass out, go to sleep. Caffeine. And I continued to push forward. Went to go get my bachelor's, and I wanted to quit, but I said, no, I'm going to pursue. I'm going to continue to go. And I did it. I didn't let anyone stop me. And when I went to get my MBA, that was the biggest accomplishment, because in my family, I broken the cycle of not having education. I broken the cycle. I've been the first to get that. That's an accomplishment. No one can take that away from me. Yes, I wanted to pursue a doctorate, but now I feel like there probably wasn't even need for that, because again, I need to work. I need the money, right? So I had to sacrifice that. And that's okay. So again, I'm sharing my story to let you know that when you're applying, you're going to get rejected. You're going to get a lot of no's. That doesn't mean that you're the wrong person for it. Understand what is your gift that you've been given, your talents. Discover that. And I would recommend you to pursue them as much as you can. The money would eventually come, just like me. It eventually came because I seeked. I did the work. I worked from the bottom up. That's exactly what I did. And I don't regret it, because I pursued what I wanted to pursue. I did that. Don't let anyone push you away from your dreams. Persevere, and you shall seek the reward. Help others if you can. Embrace them. Help them up. Don't beat them down. This world already has enough people doing that. Don't do that. I always love to embrace everyone. There's not one person I can say in my life today, whether it's family, friends, my own coworkers, cannot tell me that I have never, ever not wanted to help someone. Always. That doesn't make me better than you. It's just that I went through a lot in my childhood, and I saw a lot of things, and I wanted to be better, do better. I wanted to actually help others. That's why I am who I am. So again, please continue to push forward. Don't give up, because if you give up, you're giving up on you, not on anybody else but you. You don't want to do that. Don't give up on yourself. Keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. And I promise you, you also have to be patient. You can't have results in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2. Be patient. Just like I'm posting today these videos that I might not even have a lot of subscribers or any subscribers, but guess what? You gotta be patient. It's gonna come eventually, hopefully. So please, guys, subscribe, and hopefully we can have other great discussions like this. But again, I'm gonna try to give y'all the truth as much as possible, because I won't discuss certain company. I'm not gonna get into that. Getting specific names, I won't do that. But I will give y'all the truth from my experience. And and also what I did, to get to where I'm at, and the struggles, it's real. But I always tell people, please don't give up. And it is hard, because it's only getting harder. It is only getting harder. So what does that mean? You give up? No, that means you have to pivot or identify what you need to do. And that sometimes that means sacrificing. Whether that means sacrificing, something, a vehicle, something that Netflix, for example. That's what I'm sacrificing right now. And I actually really miss it. So, yeah, anyway, just letting you know that I'm not perfect. But I am here to help you to be better. And maybe you can help me. Bye, guys. Have a good one.